Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to briefly talk about my experiences with the current MMR test going on so far, and I want to address a huge common counterpoint I see that people that are in favor of MMR usually say. First off, my experience with MMR so far has been pretty uneventful, which I'm happy with, to be honest. My Survivor games, I haven't noticed much of a difference. My Killer games, I haven't noticed much of a difference. Even when I played Killers that I will likely have very high MMR on, like Demo, where I basically only play Demo. Even then, the games had meg heads and stuff like that. To its credit, though, the game had kind of like two bad players and two actually very good players. So if that's how the system's going to work, like if my MMR is 5,000 and I get a 7,000, a 7,000, and a 3,000 and a 3,000, and that's how it averages out, well, I'm okay with actually, because you just need one weak link. The problem with winning is when you have no weak links whatsoever. Then it becomes like impossible to win. But I mean, with a lot of killers, not all of them. But if there is even one weak link, well, then it's not a big deal. The thing is, though, if that is how the system works, then it's no better than the current matchmaking system where you're still going to get shitty teammates that are the reason that you lose the game. So I don't even know what the point is there. But either way, I've been not really upset with it. So, because I haven't really noticed a difference. It seems a lot of people I've asked haven't really noticed much of a difference too, which I prefer. I kind of like that. I'm glad that I'm not noticing that much of a difference. So, maybe it won't be that big of a deal, and hopefully that trend continues. But I do want to address one of the main arguing points that a lot of people that are for MMR make, and I think it's one of the biggest misconceptions that is repeated by people that share this sentiment. And the argument that they usually make is MMR is good for the game because it would allow the killers, it would allow the devs to see how killers perform at the highest MMR. And then they can start realizing, okay, that, at this level, very few things on the killer side are actually viable, and survivors are undoubtedly overall much stronger, which is just objectively true. That is how the game is. And that is basically their main talking point for a justification for MMR, that it'll let the devs see what they need to actually start addressing. That is such a faulty argument for a number of reasons. One, it assumes that the devs are just going to suddenly ramp up their production time and start making rapid fire changes. It took them 2-3 years to change Iridescent Head from a 3 to a 1. I don't know why you guys are thinking they're suddenly just going to rapid fire start balancing all the weaker killers, make them much stronger. Like, it's just, they're still going to work at the same speed that they currently work. So that is still, it's going to take so long to even get to that point. The game likely won't even be alive anymore. Like, I'm talking like 5 years down the line for it to actually get to that point. Now, granted, it can be done, in a piecemeal type of way where every patch we get something that's a little bit better. And after several years, now we've got something a lot better with more viable killers and stuff like that. But all of this is well and good and stuff if they even wanted to do that to begin with. And here is the biggest counter argument to that whole thought process, where you want MMR because it'll let the devs balance for the high ranks now, or the higher skill players, because now they'll have the data to see it. The devs already know that it's like that. They have known that since day one. They have always known that the game is very survivor-sided at the absolute highest level. They know that. They just don't care. They have repeatedly expressed the fact that they don't care about that high level because that's where, 0.1% of their player base is, and they don't want to kill their game by balancing it just for those players. And they've said this numerous times. Even like almost 4 years ago with the whole DPIP squad stuff, the devs made fun of that experiment because people were showing the devs that, and they were going, yeah, no shit, we know that already. We don't care. Like, they were proving stuff that they already knew. And actually, I have a recent clip from McLean even confirming this even more. I've never actually had a perfect, actual recent clip of a dev saying this. Well, he's not a dev anymore. Feels bad, man. But here, just right here, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
This is not like casting judgment on the current competitive scene, but now we know that that's not the main focus of the game. Some people are interested in the competitive aspects, and they've kind of taken it upon themselves, and that's cool. I love the fact that there's that scene.
So basically, he's saying that there is actually the devs are not intending for the game to be viewed in that competitive set. I mean, he just, from the horse's mouth, he just said that we've realized that that's not what we want to do for the game, which means that's the direction of Dead by Daylight. They don't want to balance towards that high-level competitive scene, with the top percent stuff. They don't want to do that. They've never ever wanted to do that. So I don't know why you guys that are for it seem to think that they're going to take this data and suddenly change their whole philosophy on their game. They're never going to do that. They're going to see the data. Wow, yes, only 3 killers are in fact getting kills at this rank or at this, high MMR. Oh well, and then they're just going to move on because it doesn't apply to the vast majority of their player base and where they get their money. It doesn't make any financial sense for them to do that. So that is just the one main counter argument I wanted to actually talk about. I never actually had an actual recent clip of them proving that they don't want to balance for this target, but I just wanted to share that one at least because they don't want to and they never will, and I think rightly they shouldn't ever want to balance for that. This game is very silly at the competitive level, in my opinion. I can see how it's fun. I understand that, but it doesn't change the fact that it is pretty fucking silly with the layers of RNG and stuff like that. But that's it. I just wanted to address that one talking point. Overall, though, from what I've experienced and what a lot of people have experienced, MMR is not really changing that much, which, that makes me a lot less worried about that. So that's cool. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.